Good early morning here from downtown Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This is Steve Stone coming at you from the DJLab. And let's give it some more lighting on this situation here. Looking at an Alpha Theta XDJ-AZ. AZ. Alpha Theta. Call it what you like. And man, one night in the apartment here, and already there's quite a bit of dust. The shit I must be breathing in. So, we're going to talk about some things. Let me just get myself situated here. I'm looking for my cyber. This cyber clean stuff is pretty good. It's a good way to clean gear. It shouldn't look this bad, man. You know what I need? I need a deck saver. So my friends at Deck Saver, if you guys happen to be watching this, I'm probably going to be sending you an email. The guys at Deck Saver have been like super kind to me, and have hooked me up with quite a few things. I think I was the first one in Canada to get a deck saver for my Euphonia. Because this is not a loaner. I actually went into my line of credit and I bought this. So this was a very irresponsible purchase. Considering I have lots of DJ equipment, I sure in the hell did not need this. But the channel needed this. Does that make sense? I know this is the hottest item on the market right now. There's lots of reviews on it. And from what I can tell so far, nobody has done a review on it that seems to have put their money where their mouth is and bought it. And I'm not talking no trash about any of these guys because, truth is, most of these YouTube review guys that you watch, they've got more than enough money in the bank. They could have walked right out and bought it just like I did. Difference is, I didn't have the money in the bank. Right? But it's all good. It's all going to work out in the end because if this proves to be a good unit, I'll sell my CDJ 3000s and I'll sell my V10 mixer and I will recoup quite a bit of money. Because I get a little bit of a discount on things, it always works so good for me. I'm definitely the first person on YouTube to take some goopy stuff and clean their system here. So let's get right into it. We got 14 people. If you guys were watching yesterday, for anyone who doesn't know, as I was going live with this thing, we had multiple freezes. What's going on, 12-inch skins? Yeah, the jelly duster is good. And so we had multiple freeze-ups during a live stream. This is getting kind of old. It's not working as good as it could. It's not getting everything nicely. So multiple crashes. It looked like, from my testing and playing around, that there is a setting here under the general for power management to turn this thing off after 20 minutes. Now, I thought that was the issue because I retested it this morning. I was able to kind of recreate that situation. I just had it sitting here. After 20 minutes, I didn't see anything turn off and go into sleep mode. And a few minutes after that, screen black, the jog wheel displays are on, the lights are on, the wake up button doesn't do anything, and I had to restart the whole system. The other thing I had happen yesterday too, that I also have a video of, this jog wheel was not working. I don't know why. I had to restart and everything was good. So I'm going to go over the little things. This is a little bit OCD on my gripes. Not all of them. But like, see what I'm doing right here? These P-lock faders, you know, you got to pop that little piece out and everything. Well, when I look at these faders, they don't look exactly... How can I demonstrate this on film? I can't. They look like they're bent a little bit. Number one, the faders. The P-lock fader, this particular one here, do you see how that kind of comes up and then it goes down? Well, the one side, it's like when it got pushed in there, it got bent a little bit. And so it sticks out just a little bit. A little bit on this side. Super hard to tell on camera, I know. Their decision to leave out the little lines, the little screen printing here, maybe because, you know, for some people they wore it off, but it looks unfinished to me. This minimalistic look. A lot of companies like to use the word minimalistic as they make new products, but to me, it's called cutting a corner. Don't worry, 12-inch skins will fix that right up. They'll make it good. 12-inch skins will sell a whole pile of these with the little indents. So if you don't want to skin your entire unit, you're definitely going to want to buy skins just for the faders because it looks a little off. Maybe I'm old school. The plastic construction of this. You can't really tell on screen, but if you're to grab the front edge, especially around where the pads are, and I feel like with enough pressure, I could pull and rip that off and snap it, break it. So let's talk about the good. The jog wheels feel fucking amazing. Anyone who says, by the way, this is too much money, it's not too much money. Not really when you consider what it is. It sure in the hell feels beyond the pads. Like, don't look at the pads for a second. Everything else here feels very much like a CDJ-3000. Vinyl adjust is just a button. It's not a knob, but that's fine. You can go into the shortcut menu and you can adjust that vinyl speed very easily. So that's not really a big deal. It even shows you a little picture of what the knob would typically look like on a 3000. So you can still do your vinyl brake tricks and stuff with this, no sweat. Slip reverse and reverse is not on a toggle switch, which is a bit of a shame. I really enjoyed using the toggle switch. It was very satisfying to do the zoop, zoop, zoop backwards. And the mixer section is pretty much, I would say, near identical to an A9 mixer. The only real big difference is your screen that's typically right there is up there now. So you got to kind of, you know, the muscle memory of looking right there to see where my beat effects are. And I got to look up there. Not a big deal. Ultimately, all the controls and stuff, your muscle memory is going to feel the same. Crossfader, it's not clicky, which I like. Feels pretty smooth. The up faders, I wish the up faders were as smooth as a crossfader, to be honest. But they still have enough resistance. They still slide around okay. What's going on, Jamie? And so far, I've got power management turned on, and we haven't crashed yet. But it's only been, I've had this, before I start the stream, I had this on for about half an hour or so. I was really hoping that was the mystery, and I had it solved. But currently right now, I don't. So I know a lot of people are going to talk shit about the whole crash situation because there's a lot of people watching. I'm not going to take the video down because people got to know this shit happens, right? There's a very good chance my friends over at Alpha Theta were saying, you know what? Maybe you need to exchange this. Because when you're manufacturing stuff, doesn't matter. It could be Apple. It could be Alpha Theta. It could be anybody. If you manufacture enough things, there's quality control, but they're not testing every single one of them. There's always going to be a situation where there's a lemon. There's that 1, 2, 3, whatever, that out of the box, they have issues. It's my unfortunate luck that I'm the guy who always gets a lemon. I had 2 CDJ 3000s, bought at different times, brand new, that had issues right out of the box. It's part of life, you know what I mean? If you buy something, expect some issues. I was also going to say, if you're a working DJ, you're doing weddings and corporate events and stuff, and you're out there making money, I'm not really the guy that will suggest buying the latest, greatest on day one and using it. Go buy it. If you have an XZ, for instance, feel free to go buy one of these things, but give it a bit of time before you take it out on the road with you. Because, or at home, you do some serious, extensive testing. You know, like you play on this thing for 8 hours a day for a week, and if nothing happened, then you can feel confident that everything's good. There's always going to be bugs. To this day, you know, even CDJ 3000s have had fixes years later for like little bugs that pop up. What's going on, Dilio? So far, so good. We haven't had any crashes, but it does make me wonder because I've got power management turned on. And if that's having, I thought that was the problem. And now I'm not so sure. So here's a couple things to know. We have no send return. Just to get that out of the way. There's no send return. So you're not going to hook up an RMX 1000 to this thing. Truth is, we have more than enough effects in here. You don't really need to. You could hook up a DJS 1000 sampler to this thing. And with a little trick that I come up with, you can plug headphones in to the RCA input of the sampler. You can pro-link them together. You know, select what channel you want to sample from. Use your headphone adjustment volume to pump it into the DJS and sample, and then run that thing onto either channel 3 or channel 4 and run it into line input, and you could hook up your sampler to this unit. It would work like that, because keep in mind, the original XZ didn't have a send. Like, it had a send, but not a return. So you still had to use up a channel, right? So that's not a big deal. That would still give you a sampler on one channel and 3 decks technically, between everything else. You can't run 4 waveforms on the screen at the same time. It's never going to happen. There's no firmware update for that. It's a limitation of the chip. Simple as that. This is not a new chip. This is the same chip that's in a XDJ-3000, and they're trying to squeak the horsepower out of that chip in order to do 2 waveforms, well, 4 technically, but 2 on screen at a time with everything else that it's doing. And that chip is already coming on, like what? We're almost at the 5-year mark. Is it 5 years that chip has been around? The waveform, 30 frames a second. When you're zoomed in, it's actually pretty noticeable. I'm running 30 frames a second on camera right now. I'm not running 60, even though I think my stream is set for 60. But it is running 30. Zoomed out, you don't see it so much. Zoomed all the way in, it becomes a little bit of a strange, stuttery kind of blurring sensation that I don't love because of my visual issues that I have. So I know a lot of people are going to say Prime 4 Plus is a better deal. Yes, you're right. A Prime 4 Plus has all the streaming services. We only have Beatport. Beatport and Rekordbox Cloud is the only 2 ways to stream on this device. It has Wi-Fi. It has Ethernet. You can Bluetooth into it, but that's it. I don't know if we're going to get Beat Source. It doesn't make any sense why we don't have Beat Source on CDJs, considering Beat Source for an open format, working gig and DJ is a far better service than Beatport. Beatport is great if you're just straight club DJ, but if you're doing any kind of event, Beatport is kind of useless. It doesn't have any other genres outside of the, you know, electronic kind of stuff, right? So we definitely need Beat Source. So Prime 4 Plus, you have Beat Source, you got Beatport, you have Tidal, you have SoundCloud, Dropbox. Like, you got so many options. Oh, and we have Amazon Music now on the Prime 4 Plus. So you got way more music on a Prime 4 Plus. Prime 4 Plus build quality when it comes to the actual physical body of it is built better. Sorry to my friends at Alpha Theta. It is what it is. That even the original Prime 4 before the Plus had a more solid build quality over round. Not necessarily faders and knobs, and especially not the jog wheels. The jog wheels are really nice. Try to get a little bit of sunlight off of this thing for a second. The jog wheels obviously are XDJ-3000 jog wheels. The jog wheels on an SC Prime, on the Prime 4 Plus, are not great. Hopefully, they make a motorized version using the Rant Performer platters. That would be nice. What else do you need to know about this thing? You know, like, who's it for? You're in the Rekordbox ecosystem. You like using CDJs in the club, and they're just too goddamn expensive to buy. This fills that gap, because this does feel like using XDJ-3000s. I can record my mixes on it. And the effects, you know, I like Pioneer effects. Sorry, Alpha Theta effects, same thing, different pile. The effects on the Prime 4 Plus, having the effect panels at the top, that I gotta like do stuff here and do stuff here, that's a little bit kind of, that gives you the ability to do multiple effects on 2 different channels, I guess. But I just don't like the workflow. The touchscreen effects that they introduced, I don't really use them. It looked cool for a second, but it's not that practical. I just, maybe because I'm old, I like the effects section, sound color effects. I'm used to this. This is super familiar. If you have an XZ and you hop on this, things are going to feel very familiar. You got your beat effect, the X pad. Truth is, I never really use the X pad very much, even on the 900 Nexus 2s and stuff. I'm glad they got rid of this channel selector and they just got the buttons. That's kind of nice. Here's a trick I got to see. I don't know if we can do this. Do you remember the roll trick on a 900 Nexus 2? How you could capture a roll on a channel and then flick it over and move it to the 4th channel? Let's see if we can do that. So we got it. Let's go over the 4th. Perfect. It works. And you can EQ that roll. Oh yeah, that works. Okay, I'm not here to do a big mix. And I want to try to make a couple of bucks on this video. That's the other part of that. So that works. What else are we going to look at here? So one thing that we don't have, let's figure out how to do that. See, on a CDJ-3000, you can actually hotkey jump from one song to another song to another song. And I don't know if we can do that here. Does anybody remember how to do that? I always forget that stuff. Let me check the comments to see what's going on. Okay, so some questions here. Is the screen the same resolution as a 3000? Yes, it's the exact same. Well, is it? I got to measure. Well, shit. I think the CDJ-3000 has a bigger screen. I mean, sorry, the AZ has the bigger screen. Look at my high-tech measuring. Yeah, it's a little bigger. I thought it looked bigger. Now I gotta look that up. So it's a 10.1-inch screen. And on a CDJ-3000, it's a 9-inch screen. Huh. How about that? Who knew, eh? So here's what's weird. Why not a 12-inch display? You know what I mean? Why 10.1? Why not 11? Would it not fit? Were you already making it too big? I wonder who made that decision to go a little bigger. Because technically, you could have easily sold us on a the 9-inch display from a CDJ-3000 and had a few more buttons underneath here to do some stuff. Coulda. So yeah, that's a pretty big display. What's going on, buddy? Low moral fiber. You didn't really wake up late as much as I woke up early. And really, there's a lot of things I need to do to get my day ready, as my girlfriend will be coming over at some point today. And I'll be covering up all the DJ stuff here. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it's because we're trying to stack 4 tracks. You're right. It does give us a little bit more real estate. The Opus Quad. I bet you the Opus Quad has the same display. If I had to guess, that's probably half the reason right there. And here's the absolute downfall of this unit. Let me just say, on the Prime 4 Plus, like, here's what I'm totally missing. Already, like, what, 7 years ago? I don't even know how long ago that the Denon DJ stuff, they had a chip that could run 4 things at 60 frames a second and it had enough horsepower that they could add a sampler, touchscreen effects. They had all of this stuff running 60 frames a second. And here we are with a brand new, very pricey, I must add, worth way more than a Prime 4 Plus, XDJ-AZ. This is supposed to be, the shining jewel right now for Alpha Theta. And we're still dealing with 30 frames a second. We're dealing with an old chip. Even their old chip on a CDJ-3000 was supposed to be better than the Prime 4 chip. Was supposed to be. But here we are, 2024, end of 2024, and we have a chip that's 5 years old. And we can't run 4 waveforms at the same time. You know how when you switch the decks, it doesn't change the color of the ring. Already last night playing around, I was getting confused. Honest to God, in all the systems I ever had that had dual layer, I never used dual layer because things were confusing to look at. The Prime 4 Plus, because I got 4 waveforms that I can run vertical over top, it kind of makes things a little easier, and there's a lot more colorful visualizations of switching between the layers. So I don't think the 4-layer thing is the super big selling point on this for me, because in the heat of things, it's way too easy to fuck up and think you're on a different deck than you are if you're not paying attention. And maybe it's because I'm just not used to it. But one thing I will mention about the whole dual layer, here's how I would do it. You got your 1 and 2 for your main tracks that you're going to spin. 3 and 4, you take, say, one deck, and maybe, you got to, this is where you got to be creative. And you can either go download a scratch sentence, let's say. That's the easiest one. Download a scratch sentence, and we now have the gated hot cues. So you could play things or some chopped acapellas or get a drum loop and put in some cue points, and you could play along like a drum machine, or you can have like a sampler with your DJ drops. You can use there's lots of AI tools to be able to do some cool DJ drops with some celebrity voices and stuff like that. I feel like I'm a little chopped up here on the camera angle. There is no send return. So here's what you can do. You can hook up turntables to this thing, and with Rekordbox, it will run DVS. So you could run timecode vinyl with this unit. I'd have to say, though, based on the size of it, having a turntable over here and a turntable over there and the crossfader, I personally don't think, I'm like 5'7". That's not a practical thing. You could. If you're a scratch DJ, 2 turntables might be a bit much, but the idea of hooking up one turntable for DVS, if you're a scratch DJ and you want to have that motorized platter, well, that would be good. And I will be making videos hooking up the CDJ-3000s to this myself personally, unless you're James Hype and you need to do 4 platters. I don't know if it's super necessary. I feel like it's a bit overkill. I had 4 CDJ-3000s with my A9 mixer and my V10 mixer, and you know what? It looked fucking impressive. It was very expensive, but it was overkill. I sold 2 CDJ-3000s. There's no need to have 4 platters. Nobody cares. For the price of the 2 CDJ-3000s, you're better off to go buy yourself a nice Grand Seiko watch that you can wear all the time. And that's impressive. Owning 4 CDJ-3000s just makes you look kind of like a bit of a douche. It's a little bit douchey. Especially if you're not a nightclub. You're at home and you got 4 CDJ-3000s. It's a bit much. Ah, 12-inch skins. The screen source is the same as a 10.1 in the car units. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that Pioneer Electronics still feed a lot of the parts to Pioneer DJ, even though they're separate companies now. The build quality, does it feel plasticky? You know, you can't tell on camera, but if I grab this front edge panel, it's got some flex to it. I can literally get my fingers almost in behind it, and I could rip that apart. I'm not even that strong. Could. But you're not going to try to do that. And I can do that on my CDJ 3000s too, strangely enough. So, does it feel plasticky? I feel like they could have maybe put some more dampening material behind it or something. Because it does, but if you're nitpicking. So I wouldn't, the build quality, it feels good enough. Considering the price difference between an 89 and two CDJ 3000s, I still think you're getting a pretty good value for the money. It's always a tough call. I don't know. Prime 4 Plus, or do you have this? I've got a Prime 4 Plus sitting here, and I enjoy playing on it. There's a couple little things on the Prime 4 Plus I don't like. I don't like the color of the waveforms. I don't know why. It just feels strange to me. I don't like the way their effects are laid out on that unit. But you've got zone output. You got all these ins and outs. For a working DJ that's doing weddings and stuff like that, and you got beat source, you have all these things. Like, if you're a working DJ and events, Prime 4 Plus still feels like better bang for the money because you have so much to it that is actually very useful. Stick it in a hard drive, for instance. All these different slots. You got SD slots, multiple USB slots. It can do a lot. This, on the other hand, doesn't feel like at the moment, because we only have really one streaming service, that limits it. One thing it can do that a Prime 4 Plus can't. You could hook this up to Rekordbox, and so with Rekordbox, I could have 3 decks. I could have 2 decks running internal, and I could have 2 decks running on Rekordbox. So if you're a laptop DJ and something crashed, you can switch over into internal without having to do anything. You can mix and match between those things. You could have a friend show up, plug in their laptop, take channel 2 and 4, and you're taking 3 and 1 as an example. And you could DJ back to back, let's say. Now, that being said, I don't think there's any way to synchronize your laptop with this. I don't know about that. I'll have to play around with that one day. I'm not sure if you can pro-link into Rekordbox software and have things synchronized. Serato will be coming to this in December. Truth is, if you're buying this thing to hook up to a laptop, you're a bit of an idiot. Sorry for anyone who's going to do it, but honestly, if you want to use Serato, go buy a Rant Performer. Sorry, Alpha Theta. I had a Rev 7. It wasn't my bag. If you like having crossfaders, your pitch faders on the top of your jog wheels, sure. I just didn't love it. I kind of prefer the Rant Performer a little bit more. If you want to use Rekordbox, go buy a Flex 10. Like, don't buy this and then go hook up a $3,000 laptop to it. That just seems ridiculous. There's no benefit. I hooked up Rekordbox last night. Okay, I got my like pad mode things for my effects and stuff, but you know, it's not labeled for that. If you want to have pad effects and have all that, you know, go buy yourself a used DDJ-1000 even. That was designed for that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, just don't waste your money here. Got a lot of people messaging me here about shit. Yeah, it's a scaled down version of the A9 3000s, and it has the A9 has more features. A few more features. It doesn't even have that many more features, to be honest. Not that many more. Here's the thing. CDJ 3000s and an A9 mixer, and you want to record your mix, what are you going to do? Right? You got to hook up an external recorder. On this one here, you plug in a USB stick. CDJ 3000s, I don't have slip loop. I don't have this key shift on the pads. I don't have a gated hot cue. The pads are better for doing hot cues than having the buttons at the top. You still got beat jump controls up there as well too. I got 2 mic inputs on this thing with EQs for each one. I've got you know, it's got the feedback reducer. Mega Man saying that the Prime 4 Plus is the better buy. It depends on the kind of DJ that you are. I like Pioneer effects. You know, I like the space. There's just some tricks on here that I can't do on a Prime 4. And the jog wheels, I'm never going to be able to get over those jog wheels. I'm not a scratch DJ, but the feel of a CDJ 3000 jog wheel, beyond a motorized version, you really can't beat that feel. The workflow, you know what I mean? Like the workflow of this is really, really nice. It's easy. It's just familiar. You got the wireless headphone thing, the Sonic Link. Sonic Link does not work with the Wave 8 speaker. That was a complete fail as far as I'm concerned. For this much money, I should be able to wirelessly connect it to the speaker. It would feel like without having to use a transmitter. So I don't know whose decision that was. I can only hope that it's not a hardware limitation and it was something they can do in firmware maybe. I doubt it. Like, why would you leave that out? So, can I compare the build quality to the XZ? No, I can't because I don't have one anymore. I don't keep shit around long. I had it for a while, and I'm smart with my DJ equipment. Sell the shit at the right time to get the most amount of money for it. And I would, and like from what I can remember, I would say I didn't really have a big issue with build quality on that unit. And on this one here, I don't really have an issue. There's like some things that's like, if I had to design it, I might have made it a little bit different, but I don't think it's going to break on you. Like, obviously, I would suggest if you're going to drag this thing around with you all over the place, get yourself a case. Obviously. You know, if you're taking your equipment out somewhere, get yourself, you know, a nice case. Whether it's like a good, you know, a good bag with lots of padding, or you just get yourself a nice flight case for it and that stays in it. You know, these faders, because they're not user replaceable, obviously I wouldn't be banging around on them like they're indestructible, because they're not. And how much would I say a decent condition XZ is worth now that this is out? It's a tough call. Like here in Canada, like I said, this thing's like, you know, $5,100. So $3,000. I think Canadian $3,000. I've seen people trying to get like 38, 35. I think $3,000 is a fair number. So I didn't realize that the RX3 has a bigger screen too. Interesting. Thanks, Gwen. So let's recap just off the top. The things you need to know. We only have Beatport. We don't have BeatSource. In order to use Beatport, you need to have a USB key plugged in. The Denning gear, you don't. Oh, DP saying 3,000 Canadian is the new retail price right now. So, okay, that's good to know. And I've been telling people for a while, I told everyone, I said this, soon as the rumors were floating around, I told all my friends, if you have an XZ, sell it now. Don't wait, sell it now, because the market already, I'm looking on Facebook Marketplace and the market is flooded. Let me gripe about a couple little other strange things. So on a CDJ 3000, the edge it has this little flat piece. If I rub my hand against this, I can, you know, it's a great way to scratch a finger that's itchy. But it's also a great way for dead skin cells to end up in that little tiny edge right there. And it's these little things that I just don't understand. I already know that little edge, that little gap, is going to be just this total dust collector, dead skin, because my hands rest in there. It's the little things. Like, why does it have to have an edge that can scrape the dead skin cells off my finger? And then it's so hard to clean in there. And then even for doing a skin, they never think, if you're going to wrap this in the skin, because you have this little edge and you got this front little bevel, putting a skin on this thing is going to be a real bitch. I can already tell. For 12-inch skins, as I look at it, Yep. And you got to log in every single time into Beatport. Every single time you got to log into that goddamn thing. Every time you turn it off and turn it back on, you got to log in, just like a CDJ 3000. On Beatport, I think it shows my crates. Do I got any crates? See, it wants me to log in again. I don't feel like logging in. Sorry. Getting sick of that. Getting sick of logging in every 2 fucking seconds. Especially if the thing crashes out on you. And it's weird that we've been on all this time and Murphy's Law, I'm not doing a mix and everything's fine. So I don't know what crashed it. Yesterday, it was crashing while I was like doing things with the pads and, testing shit out. And then it crashed just sitting here with nothing being touched. It crashed while being on USB stick and not on Beatport. It crashed overnight with power management on. Power management is still on, and we've been on here now for like 51 minutes and it hasn't crashed. So that kind of shit scares me. When my crashes are random and I can't recreate it, I don't know what the hell's wrong. If there's something wrong with it or not. And I sure in the hell don't feel like having to try and replace this thing, because it's just gonna be a pain in the ass. But like this stupid little P-lock cap in there is really kind of bothering me. Kind of pissing me off a little bit that it's sticking up just that little bit. Like it should be down, and it's just, I don't know why. The other ones, even this one here is a little wonky. I just think for this kind of money, let's go down, Drew. For this much money, everything should be fucking pristine. Not these, like, when I look at the crossfaders, they all look like I need to just take this shit off and bend them ever so slightly. Yeah. Is it going to be a return? I don't know. Do you mean all this time I didn't know that 12-inch skins did color caps? And I have all this shit sitting here, and you guys never sent me any color caps? This is so weird, because I'm going to use my watch reference again. I would still take an expensive watch that did nothing over a cheap watch that did everything. That's just stupid me. I'm a sucker for the brand. I talk a lot of shit and I keep spending money on this Pioneer DJ Alpha Theta stuff. And because it is still like, the top one. And that's like some Like even Maseratis. I remember someone telling me how like Maseratis, if you go look at them, because they're all hand assembled, and this guy was talking about the gap between the door and the fender was a little off and shit. And but fuck, it's a Maserati. Like just shut up. Who cares if it's not perfect? And this here, the workflow. That's why I gotta say, it's not mind blowing. It's not going to change the way you DJ. Well, it might, because if you're 2 decks going to 4 decks, you got some more shit to do. It feels familiar. And because I have so much DJ equipment, I've had 3000s for years and a 900 Nexus mixers and A9 and V10s and shit. It's not blowing my mind. And I didn't expect it to blow my mind either. I expected it to be like a CDJ 3000 A9 version of an XZ. And that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what they meant it to be. They meant it to be an upgrade from an XZ. If they had got rid of the pads and put the shit on top and made it just like a CDJ 3000, the XZ guys would have cried. And the guys who owned an A9 and a CDJ 3000 would have cried. Already, I think if you own an A9, like I just sold an A9 with a pair of 3000s not that long ago for $9,000. If the guy sees this now, he's going to be like, fuck, man. So here's the only downfall of this kind of situation. As you saw, if I had an A9 mixer and 2 CDJ 3000s, if one of my 3000s were to freeze or fuck up, I could restart that, keep spinning on one, do like a loop roll trick if I needed to. There's a lot of things I could do to make sure things didn't fuck up. When this crashes, I'm fucked. I'm just fucked. If something breaks on this, I have no DJ system, you see? Drew, I cannot reproduce it. I thought I was reproducing the situation, and no. And thanks. So 12-inch skins. Here's the real question: what color caps are you gonna send me? I don't want this thing looking like goddamn, Rainbow Bright or anything over here. No, something cool like. I don't even know what colors you guys have. You're right, Drew. You did see 2 issues. You saw the screen go black. That's happened a few times. The jog wheel situation, that only happened to me 1 time. I don't really know why. You know another weird thing I gotta tell you guys about. You think white caps on a black unit? What happens when you guys give me a white skin? I don't know. What does the consensus of the viewers say? If this thing was going to have a white skin on it, what color caps do you think would look best on it? Because right now, everything I have is like black and white. But it might look cool to have you know what color you guys probably don't have? Tiffany blue. something you guys should look into is making Tiffany blue caps. The girls out there would love that. See, everybody thinks black caps on a white skin. Crazy. I guess the caps. Faders, though, could I change the fader color at least? Because that's what the issue really is. But you know what? I never had color caps. I want to really try them out and do a nice review on these things. These caps are rubbery. Trying to crash it out, can't do it. Psh. Was it the screensaver? I had the screensaver on. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry, guys, I had to take a phone call here. Obviously, it was a phone call talking about the AZ because, you know, everybody wants to know. And, so I've made a decision, by the way, too. So, Mario, thanks for the $10, buddy. Appreciate it. So, here's what I'm going to do. I have the video I did yesterday was an hour and 49 minutes. It had, how many views does this thing have? What the hell? So yeah, 2,500 views in 13 hours. And in that video, the system crashed a couple of times. And it's had, shit, how many likes? Um, 125 likes. That's probably one of my most liked videos that I've ever done. Strangely enough. And so I was talking to Pioneer DJ. Well, not Pioneer DJ directly, a representative, a friend. And no one asked me, but I was just thinking about it. And when I bought this, the intention wasn't to buy it and bash it. I want to buy it, and I'm hoping, my hope is that this thing here is really, really good, and I can keep this one and sell my CDJ 3000s and my V10 mixer and bank a little bit of money, because I'm not rich. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to be, you know, this is going to be better for the channel because it's, people are looking at it more. And I've used the CDJ 3000s. I've used the V10. I'm not really using to the full capability. This is a smaller form factor. I'm trying to make space around here. So I'm hoping this is the one that makes me want to sell the other stuff. That was the intent, not the intent to make videos showing it crash and have a bunch of people on there saying, oh, I'm not buying it, I'm not buying it, I'm not buying it. Like, everything that we make in the world, and especially since COVID and the restrictions on these factories and how many people are on the floor at a time, that there are lemons. I've had Apple products that were fucked out of the box. I've had Pioneer DJ products fucked out of the box. I've had a Denon DJ product that had platter issue right out of the box. I've bought TVs, Samsung TVs out of the box. They were fucked. Samsung phones that were fucked out of the box. I got bad luck, man. I got bad luck with this shit. So I'm going to take that video, and what I'm going to do with that video is, it's not if it was monetized, it'd be different. If I was making money, this would be very different here. Where are we here? I'm going to set the damn thing for private. And the reason I want to set this thing to private, because I want to figure out what's really wrong with this unit. I don't want people just seeing it crash and there be no good answer. I will continue to test it. I've been told that I should probably start the return process on this thing as well. So I might have to do an exchange. No, Alpha Theta didn't want me to take it down, by the way, Drew. Not at all. That was actually me calling them, talking about some of the things that I've done with it. No one asked me to take it down, just so you know. You know, when I even mentioned it, because no one said it to me, I mentioned it first, and I said, hey, you know, the video is not monetized. I know it's getting shared around a lot of groups. And I like it. You know what I mean? Like, there's things I don't love. There's nothing I hate about it. And I think that going forward, this is going to be the unit I'd like to keep. And I just don't want to come off making it look like there's huge issues. Like, we don't know this yet. This might be a real super one-off. Like, I've had this thing running now for like, fuck, how many hours today? And I haven't had any issues. Now, I haven't been doing a lot of DJing. So I don't know. And is the AZ targeted EDM DJs? I don't know if they target it for anyone. I don't think there was a target. Let's target this market. But I think Pioneer products in general aren't necessarily targeted for wedding DJs, corporate DJs. And the whole quality control, they know it too. That in the factories, there's not as many people on the floor. So yeah, the whole the quality control issues maybe are not the same as they used to be. I don't know what to say. Is a top plates metal over mixer jogs like the XZ? Uh, as far as I can tell, there's nothing metal on this because I took a magnet to it and nothing sticks. Let's go on Sound Snake Studio. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah. I would like to sit here all day and talk about this thing. And I got shit I got to do. And it's true. If this thing was solid metal, like, you know, an NS7 II, NS7 III style shit, it would be way too fucking heavy. It's already too heavy. It's not really that it's too heavy, I'm too weak. You know the problem, I get this goddamn thing. Girlfriend's coming over today. I gotta clean up the place. Call of Duty 6 came out on the 25th. I'm playing Call of Duty 6. Get my ass handed to me. I suck at it, but it looks incredible. Just had to log in the beat port. What I'm gonna do, I don't know why it says the funky house is empty for the curated playlist. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to play a little house music here, which is going to kill the monetization. There's a PayPal link right there if anybody wants to help a fella out. Shoot me a couple of bucks. And turn monetization off. I'm going to play some music and see if this thing's smooth or not. Like if everything's good. I'll play for maybe like 30 minutes. So far, so good.
know what is what. They 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 know what is. They know what is what. 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 They know what is what.
All right, friends, let me pop in here for a second. It's been 2 hours and 24 minutes of this shit. And so far, we haven't had any crashes like we had yesterday. So that's good. I don't want everyone out there to think that because maybe I'm having an issue that they're all going to have an issue. So if you ordered one, don't sit there and stress out. It's not a big deal. You know, you have to understand, if you buy something and it turns out to be a lemon, guess what? You just return it. It's a little bit of an inconvenience perhaps, but you're not screwed. Just remember that. You're not screwed. It just might be the inconvenience of having to. And that's what happens when you want to be the first kid on the block to have a new toy. If your new toy's got a glitch or two, well, that's the price you pay to try to flex, you know? So right now, the new thing that I just figured out, which I think is probably going to be a firmware fix. I just sent it to the guys to have them take a look at it. When I do an echo, you might have noticed that even I turn it down, that has no effect. I can't turn it off. It just keeps on going forever. In some cases, that would have been cool. You know, there's some situations where that would have been cool to keep an echo, and I could have actually flipped it over to something else and then started another effect. But it's not supposed to be like that. So there's a question, you know, did I get a lemon unit? The guys over at Alpha Theta, you know, my contact there, he wants me to start the exchange process of a just in case. You know, better to do it now than when they don't have stock. So I got to get on that. I'm going to get on that right now, actually. Okay, guys, I'm back. Oh, microphone's almost falling down. Had to make a phone call to set up the exchange. And this is just a precaution. Right now, like you've seen, I was doing a bunch of crazy shit with the machine, and I haven't had any issues. So I don't know. I have no idea what caused issues yesterday. No idea. What do you mean? Don't I read the comments? Um, I was busy doing a bunch of shit. I was DJing, so I wasn't reading any comments when I was spinning. And you got a 808 over there with a million things. Um, Shit, dude. I don't know. What did you ask? You know, maybe if you had to do like a super chat, that would have stood out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Merkel, guess what? I saw your thing about turning off the power management, right? And that didn't do it. It's not, believe it or not, the right now, for instance, I have okay, while I was doing that, I had it set to never. So yes, we all do suspect it has something to do with power management. But here's what makes no sense, right? Is while I was in the middle of playing, the thing fucked up. So knobs were being moved, everything else. So there would have been no reason for power management to kick on after 20 minutes. I tried timing it. I had it on with power management on. I had it sitting for 20 minutes. I didn't see the thing go into sleep mode. And a few minutes later, so yes, power management maybe is an issue. The jog wheel not responding that one time, that's a whole nother thing maybe. This echo not turning off, that's a whole separate issue in itself. So there's some quirks, you know what I mean? There's definitely a few little quirks going on with this, but I wouldn't be worried about it. If you're buying DJ equipment and you're buying the latest stuff, it's just part of the process. You know, they can test. What are they going to do? Test this shit for 2 years before they put it onto the market? Everyone would be crying. They test as much as they can test. Some things are hard to recreate. But don't worry. They're going to, like, there's going to be an exchange, and I can only assume the engineers are going to take this particular one, and they're going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb to figure out what the hell's going on. This isn't going to be just, we don't care. Right now, currently, as we're having a discussion about this online, there's a whole group chat between engineers and product developers and stuff talking about what happened here in the channel. Everybody saw it. So the issue with the echo, this echo thing, I don't know anyone else that has an AZ to try that same thing to see. You know what I mean? I sent a video to PJ. I think maybe he still might have an AZ sitting there. I'm not sure. We'll find out that one there. If it's a power management thing, that's a firmware fix. So I think whatever little ghosts might be haunting this thing at the moment could very well be firmware things. I don't believe it's actual hardware, in my opinion, from what I can see. And the restart, I bet you if I turn it off, See, what else is weird too? When I turn it off now, it actually turned right off. When I did that before, it took a moment. So something's different now than yesterday. It does have a screensaver that dims the screen. I haven't seen that work yet, to be honest. That echo thing still. Look, I turn it off. The only way I can stop the echo is I literally have to flick to something else. See what I mean? So that clearly, I'm sure probably every XDJ-AZ probably does that. You see, it's just the echo. The roll is fine. And yeah, you know, if you're spending $5,000, you expect things to be flawless. But let me tell you, I've had friends buy $50,000 cars that weren't flawless. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this is the world we live in. It's just, you got to fucking accept it. Shit is not built quite the same anymore. Manufacturing, and picture, you're a company and you get your prototypes and everything, and they look good, everything's fine, and then they start rolling them out the door, and there's 100,000 or whatever out in the wild, and out of the 100,000, there's like, you know, 10. There's maybe 10 things out of the 100,000 that are fucked out of the box. That's pretty good, believe it or not. I'm sure if there are some bad batches, there's probably 100 of them out there. But out of, let's say out of 100,000, if there was 100, even that's pretty good. I tell you, I worked at Apple, man, and there's fucking lemons all the time. Lots of lemons. iPhone lemons, MacBook Pro lemons. Just because you never heard of it and the guy who got it didn't have a YouTube channel, because the average guy or girl or the average person If they went to a store and they bought this thing, they went to, say, Guitar Center as an example, and they bought this and they got it home and it was doing some crazy shit, you know what they would do? They'd fucking walk back to Guitar Center and say, this thing's doing some crazy shit, and they would just exchange it and give them another one. And there would be no talk on Reddit. There'd be no talk on YouTube. There'd be no talk on a Facebook group. They just fucking, you know, not everyone's going to make a YouTube video saying, hey, look what happened. That wasn't my intention. My intention was not to have a video where the thing was fucking up. And that's why I'm sitting here. You know, Gareth, listen, I've been saying the same thing. I wish, you know, like, nothing I wish more. All I want to do in life, here's what I want to do. I just want to make enough money to live and to live a nice little life. I don't need to be ultra rich. I just want to make a nice little income to be able to be comfortable. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I would gladly accept one of these companies to just pay me money. You know, give me this stuff and let me just fuck with it all day and pay me. Because YouTube isn't paying enough for me to be doing this. Right now, my girlfriend's going to be here like in 50 minutes. My place is still a bit of a write-off. I haven't really gotten ready to do anything because I'm pretty goddamn concerned about this thing. I want to make sure that my viewers out there and the people spreading videos around, they're not panicked. You know what I mean? I want to make sure everyone makes an informed decision. I don't want anyone to have a flip out. And I just want to say, if you have concerns about buying a brand new product and you're afraid it's going to be a little bit buggy and you're going to be a beta tester, don't buy new shit. I am the first guy to say to you all, and probably the only guy who's ever said, don't buy anything. Be happy with what you got. Concentrate on the music. And, you know, if you're out there making money, put more effort into finding more gigs. Buy more lighted. Don't buy this. You have an XDJ-AZ. This is not going to make you more money at your gig. It won't. New lighting, new tables, new stands, a new suit, a nice watch. Believe it or not, man, if you're talking to a couple, you're doing a wedding, and you're doing negotiations, and you got like that expensive watch on, you look successful. You know what I mean? Like people are like, oh, look at the guy's watch. He must be doing well. Buy yourself a trailer to carry more gear. Buy speakers. There's a million things that you can spend your money on that will help you make more money as a DJ. Buying new equipment won't do it. Hard truth. Buy new mics. There's a million things that you can charge your client more money because you got more to show. Buying yourself the new board, nobody gives a shit, man. Doesn't matter. What's going on, Lonzo? So I know Lonzo is a guy. Thanks for the cash there, my friend. Appreciate that. And for anyone else that is feeling generous, I just want to say the best way to send me money, because I can get it immediately, is through my PayPal. So I just pinned that stuff. Oh, there we go. There we go. Lonzo wants to know, how do I like it so far? So far, Lonzo, it has froze up on me a couple times yesterday. Today's been good. And I like it. But let me tell you something. The idea of you having this unit and trying to put two CDJ-3000s with it, I think that's a little crazy. I haven't hooked up my 3000s to it yet because, quite frankly, I got to squeak on the space. It's such a big unit. Like, it feels like you're just not going to need four CDJ-3000s. You really won't. You can take layer 3 and layer 4 and you can put some acapellas on the pads and some synth sounds or some shit, and you could make a really cool performance using the dual layer and not playing 4 tracks at the same time, is what I'm kind of getting at. I think if you got this, you'd be good. I think that's where, you got to think outside the box. Extra layers doesn't mean I got to play 2 more tracks. The extra layers could be DJ drops, acapella things, drum hits. There's a lot of shit you could do with the extra layers. You're wondering if the screens bother me. I don't like the whole jankety waveform, but that's the same jankety waveform, honestly, that CDJ-3000s have. You know what I mean? It's been a while. I need to turn on my 3000 just to look at the waveform and see if it's the same. Well, I just looked at the 3000, and the 3000 waveform is definitely smoother. It's a smoother waveform. And unfortunately, the reason for this is it's the same chip that's in a CDJ-3000 is in this unit. There's one chip that operates everything. So you're asking the power of one chip to run 4 decks. And apparently this is why, the waveform's not running as smooth as they would like it to. And the same reason why we can't have 4 waveforms on the screen at the same time. It just doesn't have the juice behind it. And I know what you're all going to say. You're all going to say that, and I just learned this recently. DJ equipment doesn't necessarily have the latest, greatest technology in it, because the latest, greatest chip on the planet would make this whole device worth like $10,000. So DJ equipment typically is always using a chip that's a little bit older, an ARM processor that's a few years ago, in order to keep the cost down. Which was an interesting thing. I never really thought about that. And it does make sense. But what bothers me a little bit about the companies, if you had made this with a 120 hertz screen and it had the latest, greatest chip, tons of memory, built-in SSD drive, all that fun shit, and you had said it was $15,000, there are people out there that would have bought it. Do you know what I mean? Like, look at cars. There's cars that are worth millions and people buy them. So you underestimate the market. You don't, does no one think that if you built a really premium goddamn thing that people wouldn't buy it? So who knows? One day I've been talking about it and said, hey, all we need to do is get the channel big enough and have everybody go on $100 waiting list. And if I could get, you know, a couple 100,000 people to give up $100 each, refundable, of course, but that $100 to promise that they are interested in making a DJ product, we could build a DJ product, approach a company, a manufacturer to build us something, and where there'd be no profit in it. It would be literally, if you bought some for $3,000, it would be $3,000 worth of hardware with no overhead, like no markup on it. It would just be all the tech. Pay for what you get. It doesn't work with DJ Pro, by the way. I've already been down that road. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what do I rate this at? That's a good question. Shit. I think I'd have to give it like an 8 out of 10. And I'll just tell you, I wish it had a little bit more horsepower. I wish those waveforms, and the year as we're going into 2025, I should not be looking at any display on anything that's running under 60 frames a second. It's just in this day and age, especially when I'm looking at video games, I'm looking at my phone, I'm looking at my touchscreen monitor spot, everything I'm running can do 120 hertz. So when you're used to looking at 120 hertz and then you look at 30 frames a second, that's a little bit harsh. You know what I mean? It's not what you expect. It's not what you're used to. This looks like an old CDJ. So that definitely takes 1 point off for sure. There's that 1 point gone. Why didn't you put 2 chips in? You got 2 players. Could you not have put 2 chips in and each chip run 2 decks? So there's that. Not having replaceable crossfaders in this day and age on a pro piece of gear feels a little bit crazy. Like, you wouldn't want to try taking this apart. It's not like it's not like there's a bunch of 8 screws here and you can pop this piece out. There isn't screws that pop that piece off. Like, I can't imagine if you had to do a repair on this, how easy that is for a company. I don't know. These little weird edges that are going to catch all kinds of dirt, and Pioneer DJ Alpha Theta, these guys are just infamous for making things that have these little grooves that collect dirt and dead skin cells. Like, it doesn't make it easy to keep these things clean. What else would I change? That's kind of about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a whole lot. You know, the plastic kind of front, the way it's built, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. Could I have made it a little bit less plasticky feeling? Maybe. but now I'm kind of nitpicking. We could have had a little bit more like inputs and zone outs and stuff maybe, but it's not really needed for club guys. Oh, the other thing that I wish it had, Sonic Link. You put it in for the headphones. It should have, for this kind of money, Sonic Link should have been there to run the speaker. That's a big miss. And it's weird because I don't understand the difference between Sonic Link on headphone and Sonic Link for speakers. So maybe one day there's a firmware update that would fix that, but it's unlikely with Pioneer DJ Alpha Theta because it's not often they'll give us an update that'll fix things. Oh, the other thing as well, the streaming services, we have Beatport, but where's Tidal and BeatSource? Come on. This would be the perfect open format system to take out to do gigs with, but without those streaming services, it really does limit it. If you're going to pick between this and a Prime 4 Plus, well, Prime 4 Plus has all the streaming services. Now, it'll get them at some point, but look at the Opus Quad and the Omnis Dual. They still don't have Beatport. There's no explanation and there's no excuse why those two units have been on the market this long and they don't even got Beatport. And I got to keep logging into Beatport every time. Figure out a way to save that information to my stick. Why can't I save that setting to my stick? So guys, I really, I hate to roll like this, but I do. I've never used an Opus Quad. Opus Quad has no streaming services at all, so I wouldn't personally take an Opus Quad. And myself, my own opinion, from the looks, I don't like the looks of it. Yeah, so frame rate is not the same as a 3000. The sound card is better than an XZ because it has that 32-bit floating point where you can't really clip it. Oh yeah, I forgot about the white finish on the jog wheel. True story. And you're saying nobody really zooms in that far in the waveforms. You're right. If you zoom out, if you zoom in at about there, that's okay. I don't know. I really don't know why I'm always zoomed in all the way because I'm a bit blind. So yeah, that's a good point. Just, don't zoom in all the way and it definitely runs quite a bit smoother then. Just back it off one. If I back it off one, and we're okay. Oh, this is probably important too. See, I pulled the USB drive, but that song that was loaded in. So the full song is in there. Hot cues all work. So it obviously has enough memory built in to be able to load in a track. Now, I don't know if it would have buffered all four in. It's kind of, maybe we should check that out. So Nerd Report makes a pretty, this is, you know, he got his two SC6000s and an 1850 for less than this. Now, I do got to say, I had an 1850 and spec wise on paper, the sound card is better on this. But, and you've got 4 decks, you've got dual layer. And, you know, it's got some cool effects. I still like the effects better on the Pioneer DJ stuff, Alpha Theta. Got to keep remembering to say that. It's a tough call. Jog wheels are definitely better than the 6000s. Now, my 6000Ms, you know, I like my motorized platters. I can record on this. You see, that's the one thing we can't do on Nerd Report system. You can't record your mix to the stick. Oh, what else is very important about this too? I keep reminding people the fact USB-C cable plugs into my computer and right into OBS. For live streaming, I don't need an external sound card or any screwing around. I can go straight in and record. So that's pretty handy. Yeah. Okay, so we got 4 tracks loaded up. We're going to eject the stick. Stick is pulled. So Merkel, you make a pretty, you're right. So you're saying probably you are using the same USB where you downloaded the firmware update. You're right. You're totally right. I am. But that probably shouldn't make a difference because the only time this thing's going to look for that firmware update is if it's in the firmware mode to search for it. But it is definitely, you know, all my CDJs, every CDJ I've had, you know, the USB stick has the firmware update on it. I never take it off. And I've told people, if you go to a club, you should have the firmware update on your stick because if you got to update it, you've got it. So I don't think, I'll mention it to the guys at Alpha Theta to see if they think that's an issue. But this is interesting right here to know if you got 4 tracks loaded up and someone ejected your USB stick, let's say, so something happened to it, you'd be fine. You'd be able to plug in another stick into the other drive. And keep on going. So that's good to know. All right, guys. Don't worry. I'll be back on Monday, and we're going to play around some more with it, see what we can do with it. And so far, I gotta say, it's a tough call, man. Because I really liked my A9. This really gives me the A9 stuff. I really, myself personally, I enjoy looking at one screen. I wear progressive glasses, as you all know. I have neck issues. I don't like looking back and forth between one screen and another. So being able to look at one screen is nice. I wish we had 4 moving waveforms to look at. I've been kind of getting used to that using my 18-inch touchscreen with DJ Pro. I'm a little bit spoiled because I'm using like good software and I'm thinking outside the box a little bit for some of the shit I'm doing. So from using DJ Pro with an iPad and my Alpha Theta Euphonia mixer with the CDJ 3000s, this feels like I took a little bit of a step backwards, to be honest. I can't do all the cool shit. I can't use Beat Source, for instance. So I can't play my 90s hip hop and shit. And Lonzo, no, they're never going to make a firmware update for 4 waveforms because the reason it doesn't have 4 waveforms, it can barely handle 2. One processor that was used to doing one thing is now trying to do 4 things. I was already told that that's not coming. Don't expect that to be on the wish list. Yeah, man. By the way, you're right. Rest in peace, DJ Clark Kent. For anyone who didn't know. And how does the screen feel compared to the Prime 4? You know, one thing these guys have better is the touch capacitiveness of this screen feels it kind of feels better. You know, you have the whole preview thing, or if you put on the link, you can go in there and touch and listen to tracks while you're playing a track. You can also go in there, and while the track is playing, you can like move around and listen to something in advance. It's all shit CDJ 3000s had with the A9 mixer too. And like for the money, you're kind of getting a lot here. And honestly, from the pictures I saw online, I was expecting it to look a little cheaper and feel a little bit cheaper. It's obviously it's got to be built a little bit cheaper than 3000s in an A9 mixer, but not by much. So I think it's a worthwhile investment. But you're asking the wrong guy. I'm like a fucking gear hoarder over here. You should see my place. Which, you know, I keep saying I got to go. And now I really do got to go. I got 20 minutes. I got 20 minutes. I got to get my shit together here. So, yeah. Monday, man. Hopefully on Monday, I'll try to figure out how to do 2 cameras, and we'll do this head to head, and not like digital DJ tips, He did a head-to-head. I'm going to do a real head-to-head because I don't have any bias to anybody. I like both companies equally, and I hate both companies equally at the same time too. Like, trust me, it's a love-hate relationship. I love them, I hate them, they love me, they hate me too. It's kind of even. And do these things feel like 3000s? Last question. I'm not roasting Phil. But I can roast Phil because you know what? I've on more than one occasion, and we've all made this mistake, but Phil has given misinformation before because, you know, maybe he didn't know. He's quick to jump on a video and talk about shit that he doesn't know what he's talking about. And this whole DJ school thing, I think that's ridiculous. You're either born to do this shit or you're not. It's either in your blood or it's not. There's enough YouTube videos online that there's no good reason you should have to pay anybody money to learn how to DJ. If you do, it's because you're lazy and you have no skill. There's the truth. If you are lazy and you have no skill to begin with, then yeah, you'll pay someone and you're never going to be that good. I didn't go to school for this shit. Why do I know so much about this equipment? Because I buy it and I fuck around and I experiment and I try things. I was the kid that had the Yorks stereo system. My parents had the York stereo system. Remember Yorks? Y-O-R-X. Turntable was on top. Dual tape deck built in. My parents would go out because if they saw me do this, they'd fucking kill me, right? When they would go out, I went and got a piece of wax paper and I cut it into a circle, put a hole in it, put the fucking thing on the turntable, and put the shitty little needle on there, and it had sliders for volume, and I'm hitting the sliders and trying to scratch mix. I was a teenager, and my parents would have shot. No, I was like maybe like 11, 12. My parents would have shot me if they had to see me with their records trying to scratch mix on this old piece of shit that wasn't designed for that. All right, Gareth, I'll see you later. The jog wheel feels, I mean, put a blind person in here and spin this jog wheel and spin my 3000 jog wheel, you would not know the difference. We have some extra shit in the display that you can put a custom image in there. There is some shit you could put like your hotkeys in there too. Like there's some shit you can put in there that you don't need. You cannot have any moving waveform on your screen. Oh, there's what you can have right there. So you got the waveform stripe information with your hotkey pads. Or like, you know, your beat jumps. I guess for slip rolls and stuff. This is useful. So that's useful for beat jumps. For hot cues, I don't need to see my hot cues because I know what they are. But for beat jump, computer key shift. So yeah. So yeah. The screens are technically better than a 3000. Oh, how do you record? That's a good question. So to record, you press the mixer settings, and right on screen, you can select what drive you want to record to, and just press the record button, and you got your track marker on there too. And you can output your mic to the recording as well too, or you can turn off so you can do your mic work and still record your set without the mic. So yeah, it's a beast, you know what I mean? All right. Thanks for everyone who shot me some money. That was pretty good. We got like 31 bucks on the channel here. I don't know if anyone shot any PayPal cash my way. And I hope it is out of stock, because you know what? Maybe in January I'll turn around and sell this thing for way more money than I paid for it. The talk function, you've got like a push to talk, or you can just turn it on and then you got the talk over. And you can go in here too, and your feedback reducer is off, light, heavy. You can have beat effects on mic 1 or 2, or 1 and 2. So I haven't really played with the mic yet. I'll get into that on Monday. Guys, I'm going to roll. Get ready here because I got to go do some shopping with the girlfriend. Get some fall shit. And I will talk to you all later. Oh, what's going on here? What are we seeing here? And guess what, Kevin? I did not get this. Just to be straight with everyone, I bought this motherfucker with my own money. I didn't even buy it with my own money. I bought it with borrowed money. I had this line of credit for a few years now, and I never touched it. And now interest rates are really, really good. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy the fucking thing, because on my interest, I'm literally, and I'm real transparent, straightforward about shit. I'm going to pay $30 a month of interest on my line of credit for this. I couldn't rent this goddamn thing for 30 bucks for a day. You know what I'm saying? So 30 bucks a month. And then because I got a bit of a deal, at the end of it, let's say I keep it for 2 months and it costs me 60 bucks out of pocket. I could literally turn around and sell this thing when it's in high demand and cover the $60 and make money on top of it too. I'm not a stupid YouTuber. I don't go blowing money like an idiot. I wasn't. And you know what? Alpha Theta, I'm just going to tell you straight up, they were going to send me one, and they're going to send me a Groove 6 to do a review on. They were going to send me one, but I'm not really a huge fan of borrowing things, because I don't know how long I'm going to have them. When do I got to give them back? And then I might feel some obligation to be a little nicer about shit too. So by buying it myself, I'm the only YouTube review guy in the world who went and bought the goddamn thing myself. Nobody handed shit to me. And even though they were offering, I want to do it on my time. I don't want to wait for nobody. Because you guys are my viewers. We're not a big crew. I don't get the biggest channel in the world. But I got a few people here that are tight. And you know what? Fuck it. I'll spend the money. Because I'll get it back. It's okay. I got people donating, helping out. Wazzy TV. You know, Wazzy, I got to tell you something. I don't mind your opinions, but I've been noticing a real trend here that you come on here and you talk a lot of shit. Right? So you've got two options. You can settle the fuck down. It might be a waste of money to you. And don't keep in mind, this isn't for everybody. If you can say, instead of saying it's a waste of money, you could be respectful and sound like you're educated and come on here and say, you know what? For $5,000, I personally don't see the value in this system. A Rolex for $100,000 sounds like a waste of money to me, but lots of people have them. You know, a car worth $100,000 gets you from point A to B the same as a car worth, say, $5,000 used. Does that person say it's a waste of money? Check yourself, dude. You only make yourself sound bad. And I know you've been on the channel for a while, but don't come on here and tell people things are a waste of money just because you don't have the money to waste. I don't got the money to waste either, but I'm the guy doing this shit so I can help you guys out. And you come in here and just say, it's a waste of money. Seriously. I'm being nice. I'm giving you the fair warning. Don't be an asshole on my channel. Because when you say it's a waste of money, you know what you're saying? I bought the motherfucker. You're saying that I must be stupid. I wasted my money. I don't fucking appreciate that shit. I do this to help people out. Come in here, ask questions, you know, add to the conversation. And if you're not going to do that, the fucking door is right behind you. Just remember that. And if you don't want to leave willingly and you don't want to be respectful, I'll just hide your shit from the channel and you can watch us talk about things and you'll just have to keep your mouth shut because you won't have a voice to say anything. So on that note, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I got shit to do. I don't got time to waste trying to school people on YouTube etiquette. For the rest of you, I appreciate you. For the people who want to hate, go find something else to do. Catch you later, Kevin.